is there a bigger stock market crash incoming on the S&P 500 and the market in general, right? We want to go over current analysts and levels we're going to be looking out for. We're going to go over the S&P 500, of course. We're going to go over the Russell 2000. We have to update new levels. We're going to go over the NASDAQ 100, which is like QQQ. We're going to update new levels as well. We're also going to go over SQQQ, which could sometimes be early signs. We have to go over the bond market as well. The bond market is starting to get strength. And then also gold and silver could also show signs that the market is getting weak, and also like the dollar, because people start moving over to metals, gold, and the silver. So we want to go over those. Those will be the main topics of the video. I might add some other stocks in here on the end. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, man. So let's go to the S&P 500 first. So as we know, we are very high on the S&P 500. The last time we broke significant highs that we made in February of 2025, we broke those in about June, right? We had that bigger crash. We bought a lot of stocks right here in the longer term as well in the Discord that are doing very good. But we broke all-time highs some months ago, like back in around June. What's the exact date? June 27, 2025. And since that breakage, the extended move above that high has went about 9%, close to 10%. We're getting to that range where S&P 500 might want to start some deeper pull downs, okay? From a recent bigger high around here, that was a recent bigger high that it made. It ran around 8% or so. And then from the last recent bigger high here, if you look at the measure move, it ran about 8% or so. So you can see it's kind of doing the same moves. I think in 2023, it had a deeper move, right around 13%. Then it had a little retracement here, bigger retracement after the 8%, bigger retracement after the 8%. We haven't had that yet, but we could be starting that. So that's one thing that I'm watching out for. Just because it happened last time doesn't mean it's going to happen now, but that's just something to watch out for. We are very extended. So like the best ways I would look for now is building that cash position. So when everything does go on sale, you're not on the sidelines. You can actually take some action. So we have our first two supports, 652.90, 649.55. These are our bigger areas that we're looking out for support on SP 500. Then we also had a resistance around 661.80, but that has pretty much been broken. So what we're going to do is we have a smaller resistance around 668.40. We're going to leave that resistance level on there for now. There is another resistance area that we must break to show signs that, okay, this was just a drop and SP 500 wants to go back up to all-time highs, and that is 671.75. If we break that, then I'm actually looking to start loading the calls up on like SPY, also QQQ, because we're probably going to rip back up and SPY might get to the high 670s, maybe even the 680s. So that would be like my confirmation that price wants to continue going up. We're probably not in crash territory just yet. But if we don't break these areas and we start to test these support levels Monday, Tuesday, and onward through the Wednesdays and Thursdays, then that's going to show signs that we might be starting to turn bearish and we want to start going down, which is even the more reason to start building that cash position as well. So those are two critical areas how I'm looking at the SP 500. And also what's major is sometimes when the SP 500 has these bigger days, it stalls out for a while. If you just kind of look at its other bigger days, I mean a big day, right? If you look at the measured movements, we have to get out this range, like about 2 to 3% movement in one candlestick. It usually stalls out a while. If you look at this candlestick of SPY, we stalled out for almost 2 weeks until we finally had some movement. It's only been about 1 week right now, right? So we could stall out some more, but just seeing these bigger movements on SPY, we sometimes stall out for a while. I'm talking about like 2 to 3%, not 1%. It's like this candle wouldn't count. This candle would count. This is probably an over 2% candle. Yeah, around 2.8, almost 3%. You see how price kind of stalled, had a little dip here, came back up quick, stalled more here, and then it finally had to drop down. So that means SPY stalled out for a good 2 months before actually having a bigger drop, and we turned bearish. So just be mindful of that. We could be stalling out a little bit longer for SPY. I'm hoping that we get out this range because it will just present easier plays. As y'all know, every morning in the Discord, I do play scalping. Y'all can see the scalps I did today. I did about 6 scalps today. A lot of scalps ended up green a little bit. Yesterday, did 2 scalps on AMD and Google. So say if I put $1,000 in both of those plays, that would have made me around 180, 170, over 300 something. And it only takes a couple minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Make sure you guys join the team. First in that description, you join the monthly, elite, yearly, and lifetime memberships. That's when you get access to Discord and CB Trade Live every morning. But more importantly, instead of trying to just catch plays, build that freedom, build your independence, and actually learn how these markets work. Because if you're watching the channel, I want you to learn more than just trying to catch stuff, okay? You want longevity independence, okay? But yeah, that's what I'm looking out for on the S&P 500. IWM resistance level new is 244.95. That's what we're going to be looking out for. And then a new support on IWM is right around 242.10. So as you can tell, oh, it actually hit both of these areas pretty perfect. It's like the Russell 2000 hit resistance bounce, hit support bounce. So we need to see which of these shorter term areas that we want to bounce on IWM. If it starts breaking on support, looking for that downside, break resistance, looking for a shorter term upside. Not really all-time highs yet. There's one more resistance level on the Russell 2000 that I want to break, but this will be like the first signs of that strength. A little slow in here for the past month, little up, little down, but always kind of come back around that 243-ish area. So we want to watch out for that. NASDAQ 100, which I like a little more than IWM. They have just had better gains for it. We want to update levels on this one. So QQQ resistance, which is like the NASDAQ 100, is 608.60. This would be the major area of resistance that I'm watching out for. Your two bigger supports are still at this range. So you have 590.45 and 587.51. But I'm going to take that 587 off. We're going to be focusedly mainly on the 590.45. If this breaks, then I'll probably start turning bearish on QQQ and get that downside. I'll probably even start looking for swing puts as well. That's going to be a new shift because right now I'm not really looking for swing puts. But if we start signifying that downward movement, then I'll probably start looking for the swing movements because QQQ would probably get down to the 560s, hopefully even the 550s, and that's going to be a good area for like longer term holds. So, but if we break this 608.60 area, then that's just going to show strength. And then, you know, the top 10 holdings of the NASDAQ are probably showing strength as well because that's what kind of moves the QQQ. And we'll still be bullish, still pushing up, break that resistance level. I'll be looking out for some nice calls as well. And then SQQQ, which is like the inverse of QQQ. This resistance area is literally where price is, right? We want to see if we break that area first, right around 1530. If we do, we tested it multiple times. We never really broke it. We even tried to open above it, but it closed right at it. So we're not really breaking that resistance there. Once we do that, that might be the first signs as well that the market wants to drop. That means SQQQ is going to go up because they do the opposite. But also, you would have another area of bigger resistance in this range here, right around 1625. And if we get up to here, then the market's probably already pulling down. So these are kind of like some early signs I'm looking out for. Bond market, TOT. So TOT has a new support right around $90.80. I'll probably start buying some TOT soon in this range that we're kind of in. We do have a resistance area on TOT as well at about 91.35, but I am going to start buying some shares of TOT. As y'all know, it is down significantly from the highs around 180. I think we can get it back up to around the 130s, 140s. And shares wise, if you look at it, that's about a 50% gain just off the shares I think I can get. Now, it's probably going to be slow. Bonds are a slow mover. They just don't rocket up like Tesla really quickly, but it can have a nice trajectory movement when it really wants to rip, right? We also want to watch the yields as well. That affects the bond market, but new support, new resistance, looking for more shares, also some call options. And then we have gold. So as y'all know, we've been swinging gold a lot, 100% gains, 200% gains. We've also been swinging silver as well. That's why I say make sure you guys join the team ASAPito. But we have gold, new resistance. If that breaks, I'm looking to buy some more gold right around 390, 390. That'll be a critical area. So we'll see how Monday moves. If gold's going to trickle down, if it opens up higher, we'll kind of see. But if we start breaking that resistance level, I'm looking for gold to actually break above 400. Nice bigger area up there. And then for silver, silver finally hit all-time highs. Bigger drop after that. Support is right around 45.55. Almost hit that perfect. Take this level off. We are looking for silver to still continue to reach above that 50 range. And we have a resistance right here on silver right around 48.65 that we want silver to break. So I'm looking for silver if it can break this area. If it does, I'm looking to load the boat back up on calls for silver to run up past that 50. I might even get calls down here around a support. So looking to buy a lot of calls on silver. Looking to buy the stock pretty heavy. I don't think it's done yet. Also gold. I like these two to continue. The only way I'll start turning like they're going to get bigger pushes is once they start breaking supports. They haven't broken the support this whole run except here, and that's when you had a pull down and you had it stall out for a month and then it continued. So as long as they don't break supports, I'm looking to buy these heavy. At least these two off these pull downs. So thank you guys for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, comment those stocks down below. You want the next video. Like I said, probably post a lot of videos over the weekend. And always remember, no recommendation of ours or anything, just for educational purposes only. So do not trade anything you see or hear in the video. I will catch you guys on the next one.